I'm going to say something that will shock thousands of you. Bank of America is being a little greedy. They're being a little greedy, and dare I say, acting a tad out of touch. Now, I know that's going to come as a surprise, and it's going to sound unbelievable. So I need you to bear with me while I describe what's going on, okay? Rockstar should raise GTA 6's price for the good of, quote, the entire industry, end quote, says Bank of America. It's previously been speculated, of course, that GTA 6 could retail for more than $70. And what this article in particular is describing is that a note published by Bank of America around the recent Lycon event in Las Vegas was that Take-Two executives did not endorse an $80 price tag, but noted that considering inflation, the price of video games has fallen over time. Quote, we also heard from attendees that the industry, which is perceived as struggling, would have difficulty selling games for $80 if GTA 6 came out at $70. We think it's in Take-Two's self-interest as publisher and a partner to many developers to raise the price point for the entire industry. It's not the first time that a higher price point has been predicted for GTA 6. Notably last year, analyst Matthew Ball of Epillion claimed that there was, quote, hope, end quote, among figures in the games industry that GTA 6 could push the cost up to $100 so that other companies could raise their default prices as well amid global inflation and swelling AAA development costs. Michael Packard, managing director of equity research at Wedbush Securities, later wrote, quote, we think the company has plans to sell the game at a previously unheard of price point and suspect that management can offer consumers an incentive to pay $100 or more per unit by rewarding them with a large amount of in-game currency to be spent in GTA Online. And of course, if you think all of this sounds crazy, it is important to know that Take-Two, of course, was the original guys to push to the $70 price point. The $60 price point had held steady for years and years. Take-Two was the first to go to 70. I believe, was it NBA 2K, I think, that did it first? It was one of those. So all of these analysts, these people outside of the industry as consumers, but these people on the business side of the industry are hoping that GTA 6 comes and sets a new standard. Yeah, you can hear him. He's barking his mind out. Hounds are loud. Snow days are tough for him because he wants to go out and play, but because he's a hound, he shoves his nose in the snow, and so he gets really cold. And like he gets brain freezes because he basically snorts snow, which is a problem. You can't do that. And so then he like starts yelping. We bring him inside to warm him up. And he's like, no, I want to go out and play. And so we let him out and play. And then he snorts snow and he gets really cold. And then he's like upset. So we bring him in to warm up. And then he's upset that he's not outside. So he's kind of a big baby sometimes. Kind of a big baby. Nikki is juggling him. But yes, it's the wonders of a dog when it snows. Anyway, so all of these different industry figures are hoping that they push past the $70 price point and make $80 minimum the new standard. That's their hope. That's their hope. Whether or not that happens remains to be seen. I think $80 is certainly possible. 90 to 100, I think, would be patently insane. If any game could do it, it would be GTA 6, but time will tell. I think, my sneaking suspicion has always been that they'll either be at $70 or $80 for the base model or base version of the game. But I think that they'll have early access, like 5-day early access or something, that's only available in the $120 or $150 version. And so they'll get the average unit sold price to be way higher by doing that. And then they'll also probably have like GTA Online. It's possible GTA Online could even have its own standalone release. I know that's not been talked about a lot. Based on their statements, it's still technically possible GTA Online is its own standalone, like $80 game. You never know, okay? You never know. They're talking about the biggest game in the history of the industry. Cost $3 billion to put together. It's not impossible. It's not impossible, okay? So, but what I think is so fascinating about all of this is that it's just assumed if you go to 80 that not only will people buy it for GTA 6, which they probably will, but they will also then be able to do it with all these other games across the industry, and that gamers will also put up with it. But what have we seen since games moved to 70? I think what we've seen is a pretty unified response from gamers across console and PC, where standards have shifted. So the classic example I point to with this is Mafia 3. If you look at Mafia 3, this stat still blows my mind, okay? Everybody knows that Mafia 3 was like a disaster. Technically, it was a technical dumpster fire. It was buggy, it was super broken, it reviewed quite poorly. You can see like the actual review scores were in like the 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10. They were not good. Like Metacritic on PC was 62 out of 100. Okay, 62 out of 100. For most AAA games that launch today, if you launch with a Metacritic score in the 60s, you're in trouble. You're in big trouble, you know, like that doesn't work. You're in trouble. But what happened with Mafia 3? Look at this. This is insane. On November 2nd, 2016, Take-Two Interactive announced that the game had shipped 4.5 million units in its first week, a new launch record for 2K games. By February 2017, they had sold 5 million, and by the end of March 2020, they had sold more than 7 million. Within the first week, they sold 4.5 million copies. Goodwill of Mafia 2? Well, certainly a lot of Mafia fans out there. But my point is, people knew that the game was reviewing poorly and still bought it because they were fans of Mafia. Because the bar was lower, it seemed. What's happened in the years since the $70 price hike, though, is I think standards have risen, because when you charge more for something, people expect more. They expect higher quality. They expect the game to be more polished. They expect the game to really earn their $70 price point. And when you launch a game at 60 or at 50 or 40, the standard lowers. You know, you expect the game is probably not going to be that long if it's launching at $30 or $20 or something. And that's okay, because you're paying less for it. If you charge $70 for a 3-hour game, we're probably going to have a problem. But if you charge $20 for a 3-hour game, you know, that could work, you know? And so I think as they've raised the price, the expectation has risen and the demands for quality have risen. And the demands for content have risen as well. If they were to raise GTA 6's price to 80, I don't think that's automatically a pass for every studio and publisher around the industry to start charging $80 for their games. I don't think that magically works. Because what's going to happen if GTA 6 launches at 80? The next time a game launches at 80, everybody's going to be like, so it better be as good as GTA 6. And if it's not, I'm not buying it. That's, if you're going to raise the bar with the biggest one in the industry, yeah, you got to meet that bar. Okay. I don't know if you're going to be able to get away with, like, maybe with Madden or MLB The Show, or like sports games where those customers tend to be much less price like sensitive. Maybe they'll go along with it, but I think certainly in the AAA like single player space, that's not going to work. That is not going to work, especially when everybody you talk to is already describing how the industry and the hobby is getting too expensive. Like whether you look at Game Pass going to 30, now it's back down to like 22, 23 for premium. Or if you look at, you know, games going up to 70, all of the constant microtransactions that are put in pretty much everything, the push for battle passes, season passes, the push for the deluxe editions and collector's editions, other things like just sheer cost of hardware. In order to play Lego Batman on 4K 60, you straight up need a $4,000 PC, which is crazy. To play a Lego game in 4K 60, you need a 4K machine. $1 per K. $1 per K. Or $1,000 per K. You get what I'm saying. 4K for the resolution. It's not pixel, but per pixel of horizontal resolution. There you go. Doesn't flow off the tongue as well. And so I think if they were to raise the price to 80, it just will raise the demands of quality. It's not going to be a magical panacea. I don't think people will magically just start shelling out $80 for every game that comes along because GTA 6 did it. I think instead what's going to happen is that standards will be raised. People will go, yeah, GTA 6 charged $80 because it cost $3 billion to make. Did your game cost $3 billion to make? No? Okay, well, I'm not paying $80 for it. Get out of here. It's got to look like it cost $3 billion, by the way. It can't just be that you you hired Herman Hulst to buy a studio to make a game nobody wanted, you know? Anyway, I just don't think it magically fixes things. I think a lot of industry analysts think if you just raise the price, magically it'll do stuff, because they're just putting it in the spreadsheet. If we actually charge $80 per copy, then our share will be this and our revenue will go up to this. It'll be great. It assumes customer behaviors largely stay the same, and I don't think they will. I think the sheer rage that would happen would be, I think, prohibitively problematic. I don't think it works. Again, GTA 6 can probably get away with it. Frankly, I think if they announce tomorrow trailer number 3, pre-orders open, it's $79.99 for the base model, I think people will still buy it, still pre-order it. We'll talk about it, be like, I don't like this precedent, but it's GTA 6 and it's a $3 billion game. So what are you going to do? But I do think if you saw that, like, Microsoft or PlayStation, yeah, Wolverine is $80 now. It's also only 10 hours long. $80. Money please, please. I don't think that goes over well. GTA 6 gets away with it because it's GTA 6. I don't think everything else magically gets away with it. So I think that that's a bad precedent to set. I think actually the best thing for the industry would actually be to reinvigorate it with some energy and get the money flowing, because right now, a lot of people are very, very cautious when buying AAA stuff, and it's because things are so expensive. If they were to come in with GTA 6 and launch it at like 60, bro, that would be freaking amazing. Can you imagine? The internet would melt. Outer Worlds 2 is $80. Well, they initially pitched it at $80, and then they got clowned on so bad. And to be clear, it seems very clear it was not Obsidian's choice to launch at $80. That was a Microsoft thing. So they then eventually walked it back down to 70. But dude, just imagine how the internet would break if they sold GTA 6 for 60. Like, it would just break the internet. But they're not going to do it, because I don't think they lose anybody by going to 70. Everybody assumes 70, so dropping to 60, it's like they don't need the goodwill. They don't need vibes. It doesn't matter. They'll be fine. And there's also an interview that just went up from Jason Schreier where he interviewed Strauss Zelnick and talked about some of this stuff that they've been describing. There's a bunch of discussions in here about some of the broader approaches they've taken with things. So, for example, they discuss the new Grand Theft Auto has been in development for more than 8 years by a team of thousands of Rockstar employees, which also marks it as one of the most expensive games ever made. The company doesn't share its game budgets, but the big titles in the industry routinely cost hundreds of millions of dollars, and Grand Theft Auto is estimated to be coming in significantly higher than most. Some analysts have forecasted the new Grand Theft Auto will sell upwards of 25 million units on day one. That means that selling 10 million units, a miraculous figure for most of Grand Theft Auto 6's competitors, would be considered disastrous for this game. Quote, at a lower level, that's true of Take-Two's entire business plan on the console side, Zelnick said. Development costs have gone up, and we really do aim to deliver the highest quality entertainment on Earth, and that is costly. And AI influence is notwithstanding, we haven't seen those costs decline yet. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Take-Two's strategy is to make blockbuster games, according to Zelnick. To do that, the company has to spend more freely than rivals who may be targeting a much lower number of units sold. That's a high-stakes game for big boys only, and I'm cool with it. Early indications are that GTA 6 will shatter sales records. The 2 trailers released so far have combined for nearly 500 million views on YouTube, and other big video games are steering clear of November's releases to avoid the competition. We never claim success before it occurs. We have the most amazing creative teams. We not only encourage them to pursue their passions, we insist that they do it. We try to give them unlimited financial, creative, human resources, and then they aim to deliver perfection. Imagine that. We give them unlimited financial and creative and human resources. How much money do you need for GTA 6? You got it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it. We don't need it. When asked whether GTA 6 really had unlimited funds, Zelnick joked that his son is getting married in June and, quote, we gave him an unlimited budget and he exceeded it. That's crazy. That's wild. Yeah, I guess I don't know if Strauss I don't think he's a billionaire. I think he's probably got a net worth in the hundreds of millions, but yeah, imagine having that dad to pay the wedding bills. I don't know. I also genuinely don't know how you spend a lot of money on a crap ton of money on a wedding. Like spending 20,000, I can see like a venue will charge 10,000. I get that. But I've seen people who are like, our wedding costs $3.5 million. And it's, you look at it, it's because they rented out Disney World, like private event. And it's like, what are we doing? I don't know. The son cares about the wedding. Well, if dad's paying for it, he's probably like, yeah, my wedding gift is a Lamborghini to myself. You know, he's probably traveling. Well, some weddings, I know this is crazy. Some weddings, I've never been to one of these, but I've heard stories of them. They will do location or destination weddings, like in the Bahamas, in Spain, in wherever, and they will fly out and pay for the guests. That's how you know you got money. Like they're paying for international trips for like a guest list of 200 or 300 people to come out to the wedding, which is insane. But those are the same weddings where it's like, assume that you're bringing a Rolex as the gift. You know, they're assuming that you're going to basically pay it back in a gift. You know, it's just madness. Yeah, I need more rich friends too. Unlike most competitors, GTA 6 will be released only on the PlayStation, Xbox consoles, although it is expected to offer a version for personal computers later, following the pattern of Rockstar's previous games. This may be a risk for Take-Two given the PC's outsized share of the games market today. When he started at Take-Two in 2007, Zelnick said a release for PCs would make up perhaps 5% of the sales of their basketball series, NBA 2K. Quote, now with regard to a big title, PC can be 45 to 50% of sales, he said. This is him talking in 2026. So PC now is like about half of GTA 6 sales potentially. Why then isn't GTA 6 coming to PC immediately? Quote, Rockstar always starts on console because I think with regard to a release like that, you're judged by serving the core, Zelnick said. Like really serving the core consumer. If your core consumer isn't there, if they're not served first and best, you kind of don't hit your other consumers. Zelnick said the window for console exclusivity was not related to the company's marketing deal with PlayStation maker Sony Group Corp. He said, no, I mean, historically, Rockstar's gone to console first. So he says first, it is coming to PC. Anybody who thinks it's not coming to PC, like it's obviously going to come to PC, but they go to console first. As for core like consumer base, I get what he's saying. I just think this is sort of an antiquated way of looking at it. I think console, yeah, 10 years ago, the majority of sales were still going to be on console. People are actively like fleeing console gaming and flooding into PC gaming. Like open market, it's more affordable in the long run, certainly. It's an open platform. It's just a more definitive place that I think is going to continue to be the trend, is that people are going to move away from consoles and float towards PC. So I just think this is sort of like an old school way of looking at it. I get what he's saying, but I just think, you know, when they started on GTA 6, I think that it was true that console was the core of their audience. But nowadays, like I wouldn't be surprised if the next GTA or the next Rockstar game, whatever it is, Red Dead 3 or something totally new, I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up being day and date with everything, because I just think that this is kind of an antiquated way of looking at it. The other like omnipresent point, let's just be completely real, they get to double dip. There's a lot of console players who also have PCs and will buy the game twice, almost certainly. And if you launch them day and date, they'll just buy it on PC. They'll never get a console version. But if they release it on both, but you stagger it, then you're good. It's a risky decision that might wind up limiting the game's audience, but the good news for Take-Two may be that they get 2 bites at the apple. A console release this November and then a second opportunity whenever the game arrives on PC, which could be a chance to drive more sales and even get some consumers or customers to buy the game twice. We'll see how it works out. I bet we will. Bet we will. I bet we will. And it's just one of those things, like everybody knows that that's happening and that's a consideration for them. Like, let's not beat around the bush. Like, obviously it's a benefit of taking your time. Like it's a benefit of taking time between those. But, you know, they're never going to say that because it sounds bad. You know, they're never going to say that for obvious reasons. But anyway, PC fanboys crying because of this is hilarious. I mean, I'm sure maybe there are people crying about it, but I think it's not. I think it's not that shocking to me. I think it was always going to go this way, but I do think next time around, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a shift. Personally, he took my thing.